Welcome. Today we're going to go over how to create a project in Project Lifecycle Pro. There are basically two methods based on the user class using creating the project. First is any employee in the company can create a project that goes into a backlog to be then reassigned. And then project managers who have special rights within Project Lifecycle Pro can create a full-fledged project from scratch. So let's start with any employee suggesting an improvement idea. And here we have Dan Dalmatian, who is a developer. He has an idea, so he's going to open Project Lifecycle Pro. He's going to go to projects. He's going to say create a new one. And let's say he's going to say this is actually a systems project versus a business improvement. And he's going to call the project automated testing. Automate testing and here in the description is going to have a more detailed description. It says automate the regression testing of software using state of the art. All right, he's going to leave this in backlog status. And you see he can't actually update a bunch of other information. So all he can provide, basic description, that it's in the backlog. He may add a little bit several interesting new tools demonstrated. And he's going to save it. Now has it in here. You can go to the red. Dan can't add project team members. That's reserved for project managers. He could add some scope items. So let's say he can say in scope would be regression testing. Okay, that's a process description, build, standard regression tests or commonly updated. Right? Save. You may also want to say, and he thinks a good candidate for this is the other scope item. Let's say financial system. All under technology. Or obviously it could be other items. He could definitely say, maybe he knows one that's out of scope. So he's going to say, let's say the email system wouldn't be a good candidate. Doesn't know of any risks at the moment. Project dependencies, releases. This is all later planning items, project components, system requirements. Some we're going to leave those out. Project change management impacts. Doesn't know any of that. So he is good at the moment. And files, support, software tools, you could add those. And he's good to go. Now that Dan has submitted his project ID, it goes into the project backlog. The project backlog is managed by individuals, key individuals within the company that you designate. Sue Chihuahua, who's the CIO, is one of those. Sue goes periodically into the project backlog by opening up the standard project backlog report. He opens it. You see all the projects across the company that are in the backlog status. Now she sees the project that Dan submitted. She knows he submitted because he's currently the owner. Going to open up the automated testing tool suggestion. Reads over it, says that's not a bad idea. Now she's also going to go down here and say the standard for default for projects is they are set as confidential. No reason for this to be a confidential project. So she's going to uncheck the confidential. It now becomes public, and anyone in the company will have read access to it. It goes through its life cycle. Next thing, the main thing she needs to do is she's going to sign this off. She's going to leave it in a backlog status because it's not something that needs to be tackled immediately. But she's going to assign it to the sponsor who should be managing it and decide when it comes out of the backlog. In this case, she's going to assign it to Sophia, who's the IT manager. Going to give her the role of this as sponsor for this project. Sponsors was to play to everybody. The automation roles will be sponsor. That means Sophia will have special rights and approvals and things of that nature. Not going to give her a start date and things. The project hasn't started. She's going to give her edit rights, so she's not going to check the read-only access box. She is going to give Sophia access to all the project financials. She's sponsor. She's going to save that. I'm going to add another team member, which is Dan deserves to be kept in the loop on this project since it was his idea. May even be eventually assigned to the project. Let's look for Dan. Going to make Dan is a stakeholder at this point. He's going to be just kept informed. We're not going to give Dan access to financials until he's officially on the project. We're not going to give him edit rights, so we'll give him read-only access. And the only other thing is, since Dan is the owner, he has edit rights as owner. So we're going to update that and make Sophia the owner of this record in Salesforce. And she's going to get a notification that she has been made owner of it. This will be where there's a new project out there in her backlog. The second way projects can be created is project managers can create a full-blown project from scratch and bypass the backlog altogether. So we have Sally Shepard here is a project manager. She's just come out of an executive meeting where they told Sally they want her to organize the effort to acquire a trucking company. So she is going to go into projects where you can see any public projects are sitting out there. She's going to select new. She's going to say this is a systems project. We could always have a record type for a position. I'm going to call this Project Chariot. Acquire a trucking company based in the Southeast. Reduce cost of transporting roofing components, roofing supplies to the job site. I don't know, this is a priority. It's going to be active, but right now is in the plan stage. Everything's green. Start date, it's starting Monday. She'll kick off. Forecasted end date is by the end of the year. And this is going to be a confidential project since it's an acquisition at the moment. related to the project. Any other details she can add here? Going to add some team members. Sponsor for this project is the CEO. Okay, so she's going to add some project team members. The sponsor for this project is the CEO. Put them as sponsor is their role. Also give them the automated role of sponsor so that they will have approval rights and such. Start date is same as the project. Date will do 12/31. 3. Don't really want to track their time, so we're not going to give them assigned time. They will have edit access. We'll give them access to financials. And we'll save it. Also, she needs to add the VP of Logistics, steering committee member, Dan Colley. Add him as steering committee. And also automated role, so he also will be routed, approvals will be routed to Stan. I'm going to give him just read access to the project details, but he will be see financials. Same start date on Monday. Same end date. 3. And then the person actually responsible for finding the supplier be a business analyst. Becky Akita, business analyst. There's no automated role for business analysts. Start date will be Friday. We'll assume for now the year. And we will track Becky's time because she manages works on multiple projects. So we think this is going to take up right now about 50% of her time. We'll have financial access and access to the project. So we're going to create a project financials, the Chariot financials. We create a separate financials record because it allows us to control the security access to the financials. We're going to say we are going to roll up costs and benefits based on detailed cost and benefits line items. I'm going to save this. He knows that a consulting firm had talked to the CEO, Peg, about this opportunity now, mostly as placeholders. There's the financial record. She's going to add benefits. I think they can reduce it by 10%. For an estimate the consultants gave, but that's going to result in about $50,000 a year. That's the current baseline. Realized amount will be after the project's complete. The date that would be realized, we're going to say for now, is going to be starting, let's say, starting next year. Category it falls under is this is a cost reduction. It is the annual recurring amount. That category, it's going to hit expenses. Save that now, but now she's going to go back into the project. That from notes, project milestones. The only milestones she has at the moment are she has a start date, Monday. Been completed yet. The order just allows her to sort things, adds them. going to say, hey, we're going to have a little plan phase, which Peg wants to get them right on this. She wants the plan phase done by next 4 weeks. So 1, 2, 3, 4 by the 9th. Original date is just so we can track if the dates slip. And the only other date she has right now is she's going to put in here the end date. We're going to put by the end of the year. And then scope wise, job site delivery is definitely in scope. That's a process and it's in scope. So roofing warehouse, 2 job sites. That's definitely not in scope. It's got out of scope. Okay, project risks, they don't have identified any yet. Project dependencies, not yet. Releases related to IT. Project components, again, they have to build would be IT related system requirements, not there yet. Project change impacts, not there yet. And files coming to address, so she's good. She's created a project with all the information she has at the moment. She's actually started flushing out. This actually represents the project charter. Started flushing that out. She's good to go. Kick off her project.